I just went out and cut this tree down, and while I was cutting the tree down, it stopped halfway through, and I started back up and it started right back up. So I got the tree down and moved on to the next one, and it won't start. Nothing. Well, here's my thought. It ran. When it got hot, it quit running. Typically, that's a sign of the coil's gone bad. They'll run, they'll start when they get cool, but they'll quit when they get hot. So I'm going to go ahead, take the spark plug out, and see if we have spark. I've got nothing metal to touch this to check for spark. So what I'm going to do is take my tool, touch that on the block, the head, and then touch this and see if we've got any spark there. And we got nothing. I'll take it in the dark and show you. The base of the spark plug needs to touch metal, and you should get a spark in there. And I'm not getting any. And I've got it touching metal because I got my tool against the block. The base of the spark plug is touching the metal, and I should have spark right in there. Nothing. Now before I take this all apart, I'm gonna get a new spark plug and check and just make sure it's not the spark plug, that it is in fact the coil. New plug. And still nothing. But just to warn you, if your coil's not completely shot, you still might get spark when the chainsaw's cool. So be careful about that. I'll show you one last test you can run to make sure that it is your coil that's the problem and not a wiring or a shutoff switch issue. We're going to disconnect the kill wire and need to take the recoil off. This just lifts off. We want to disconnect this wire right here. This is the kill wire. Goes to your shutoff here. Just pop that off, and we'll go ahead and do our spark test just like we did before. And what this does is it isolates all the other wiring from the coil. So when we do a spark test now, all we're doing is testing this coil. We're not involving any of the other electrical wiring or switches. With the kill wire disconnected, we can set that aside. Put the recoil back on. And I'm just going to throw a couple screws in to hold this. And there will be no compression, no resistance when I pull this because I'm going to have the spark plug out. Good. I will flip it up. Again, you've got to touch this to metal to check for spark in there. So I'm going to put my tool in there because this is all plastic up here. And rest the spark plug against the tool, and we'll go ahead and check for spark. And we've got nothing. So I know that the coil is bad, and I've isolated that from the switch and all the wiring. So we'll go ahead and order a new coil. Now if you do get spark with your kill wire disconnected, that means your coil's probably okay. And I would check your kill switch or your wiring coming from your coil, and make sure that you don't have any bare wires causing a short. Hey, hey, hey! The new parts arrived. Just came in the mail. All right. Well, they even threw in a spark plug. I got an aftermarket one. That's an old saw. I bought it for $50. So I don't want to throw a bunch of money into it. This cost me $9.99, and it came with a spark plug. So we'll go ahead and throw it in and see if it'll work. Here's the ignition module. Wires if I need to change them out. Kill switch connection there. Even gave a little protective sleeve on here. Let's go ahead and take the old one out and throw it on. Now I'm going to try to keep this real simple. To take this cover off, it's all tied in with the handle and everything. So I'm going to see if I can just take the recoil off and fish the plug wire up through here after I put the coil on. This takes a Torx bit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. There's a little cup in this one. You want to make sure not to lose that. See that? Alright. Again, it's just the Torx. Alright, there's a magnet there. I gotta move that away so I can pull this out. Disconnect the kill wire. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can get this wire fished through here without having to take this thing all apart. Yeah, can do it. And let's see if we can pull the plug wire through. Oh no, we can get it. Yeah. That just slides right through there. How about that? There we are. Got her out. We'll take the new one and make sure that it's a good match. And it looks exact. Beautiful. These wires look good. They look fine. So I don't have to mess with that at all. All right. Easy, easy, easy. Nothing to it. Now all we have to do is the reverse of what we did, taking it out. Drop this back in there. Get these wires out of the way. And this wire goes underneath, just like when we took it out. Beautiful. She dropped right in there. We'll put the screws in. I like to go counterclockwise just to make sure I'm not stripping anything till I hear a click, and then clockwise, and it should go in easy, which it is. I'm not tightening those down yet because we have to gap this. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Beautiful. Now the tricky part, getting this wire back in here. And I want to be careful so I don't break this plastic. It's got to slide down in there. Just like that. Take a business card. It's 10 thousandths, I think, about that. That'll give us our gap that we need. Take the magnet over where it's against the coil, right here. And now we can tighten this down. Good. Just going to snug that up a little bit so it doesn't slide. Good. Turn this to get our card out. Beautiful. We got our gap there. And we'll hook up our kill wire. Good. And we'll put the recoil back on. It just slides up under there. There we go. Aha! Beautiful. All right. Don't forget your little cup here. And these screws are all the same size, so I didn't have to separate them out. Again, I go counterclockwise and then turn them down. Anytime I have 4 screws like that, I like to go crisscross, tightening things down, just so it all goes even. All right. Now I can snug them down. A lot of plastic parts on these residential chainsaws, so you don't want to go crazy tightening them. But it vibrates a lot, so you don't want them cutting loose. A little balance in there. Good. Now we'll put our plug in and check for spark. Ah! Let me turn the light off, make sure you can see that. Ha-ha! There we are. Good sign. Let's put this plug in and see if this baby will start up and run. I've been fighting this problem for quite a while. Thought it was the carburetor, cleaned the carburetor up, and but when it get hot it would quit, so I'm hoping this will fix that. And then we finally lost spark, so I think it finally gave up. There we go. All right, let's see if I got fuel in here. And I do. Let's go outside and see if this thing will run. And that's how easy it is to change a coil on a Stihl chainsaw.